In this module, 10 ways to market outside of social media is going to talk about just that, marketing outside of Facebook and Instagram. I know when we start businesses, the first thing we think about is probably social media to market the business, which is totally okay. But there are other ways to market your brand, and you have to realize that we do not own these social media platforms. So it is important that you establish yourself outside of social media just in case social media was to disappear, and or if your clientele just isn't on social media. So let's get started. So social media marketing is the usage of social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to promote your product and their services. There are other brands, not other brands, but there are other social media platforms. You know, there's the new Clubhouse. Then people are also using LinkedIn. People also use Pinterest and YouTube. But we are specifically talking about Facebook, Instagram. You know, these other platforms matter as well, but we are trying to market outside of these online platforms, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so based on the statistics, it says 52% of business purchases are influenced by Facebook. We know Facebook is very powerful, especially with the Facebook ads. And then they say 68% of daily social media users are on Facebook. So many people are utilizing Facebook. Facebook is most definitely a powerful social media platform, especially with the ads and the retargeting. So Facebook is popping out here, and Facebook now owns Instagram. So both Facebook and Instagram are popping, and a lot of business is done across these two platforms. However, you have to think about these things. What happens when social media shuts down? Because it has. YouTube has shut down before. Facebook was down, being very glitchy, and then Instagram as well. So you have to think about what happens when these social media platforms shut down, or what happens if they decide to shut your Facebook page down or to where you can't run ads, or you've been locked out of your account. That has happened to me before. So you have to make sure that you have some alternatives just in case social media decides to shut you off. You also have to think about what happens when social media is not generating enough revenue. So if you're looking to increase your profits and social media just isn't doing it for you, you need to think about other sources, marketing sources, so that way you can generate that income. And then what happens when your target audience is not on social media? So if you're looking to work with corporate clients, then you might actually have to go to these corporate businesses because they might not be on social media, looking at the Instagram feed or looking at the Facebook feed. So you have to figure out where is your target audience and how do you get in front of your target audience. And that might not be on social media. Alright, so the first marketing strategy outside of social media is become a vendor. Of course, with COVID, a lot of events are not happening right now, but there are some. And then when the world opens back up, you still have the option to become a vendor. And a vendor is where you display your business at an event or some type of expo or conference. Usually, you are introducing your product or your service, and you normally sometimes you can actually make sales right then and there. Even if you are a service-based business, you can offer your services. I've been a vendor for a few different things, and I'll show you examples. But becoming a vendor is a way to get in front of the community, and it gives you the opportunity to talk to your actual potential client. So I love the face-to-face action. Those are great because people get a chance to interact with you versus being online. But before you become a vendor, you have to keep things in mind. You need to research the event and to make sure that they have the proper demographics that are pretty much your target audience. So if you have a certain demographic, you need to make sure that particular vendor event has the similar demographic. For example, if you are targeting, let's say, millennials who use natural hair products, then you want to find those events that are going to attract millennials who have natural hair. So that might be a natural hair festival, that might be some type of black festival. So you most definitely want to find out where are those millennials with natural hair hanging out. And you need to figure out what events are they attending. So another thing to keep in mind is that make sure you have an eye-catching vendor table. So it needs to be, cute, neat, very eye-catching, not plain. And I'll show you some examples for sure, so that way you get an idea of what I mean by eye-catching table. You also want to collect emails, because you can utilize those emails for email marketing. So those people that you actually come in contact with, they should have an email address. So do a giveaway to collect their emails, so that way you can stay in contact with them after the event is over. If you are actually going to be selling something, make sure you have a payment processor. So that might be a Stripe, that might be a Square card reader, something to where you can collect payments. And payment processor could be, electronic payments, but also cash. Some people still carry cash, so you make sure you have change to be able to give your customers their change back. So keep that in mind. Have content such as like brochures, flyers, stickers, social media information, business cards. Have something that they can take away, so that way they can remember you. And then keep it engaging. Like I said, you can have some type of giveaway to keep them engaged. You can have like a little selfie station for them. Something that's going to keep them around your table, so that way you can potentially make the sale. Alrighty, so this is an example of my vendor table. I had a gold sequins cloth, so that always attracts the women, because my brand attracts women, is geared towards women. So I most definitely have like a cute girly setup, especially with the sequins. So that's eye-catching. I have a clothing rack. I have a banner. I have flyers. So I always had something to catch the eye of the people who were attending. All right, this is my good friend Corey. He also has a pretty cool setup, not as girly as mine, because his brand appeals to both men and women. But his table is still very neat, very on brand. He has the banners. He has the tablecloth with his logo. Then he also has a cool backdrop as well to capture the attention. So very, very professional. He had the wooden floor. So most definitely an eye-catching, neat, and clean setup. So those are some examples. Depending on your brand, you most definitely want your booth or your vendor table to actually match your actual brand. So some ways to stand out, most definitely a banner is going to help. So you saw Corey's banner, you saw my banner. No empty space, so you make sure you don't want to have just blank, kind of like negative space. You most definitely want to fill it with content and products and information for them to take away from your table. Keep it on brand. What I mean is your brand colors, your logo, everything needs to match. Your booth needs to actually match your website and your social media. So if you have a purple and white, website, your booth needs to be purple and white. So hopefully that makes sense what I mean by brand colors. Have content in the products on your table. So your flyers, your brochures, and then of course your actual product itself. Make sure those are visible for clients to either pick up or to buy. Use props. So some of the props that I had were, I had a money bag sign that people could take pictures with. Those were always cool. And then I had like a little design that says like a boss on the table as well. So those are just some things to keep the table kind of cute and fun. And then use risers to add dimension, so that way it's not, your table isn't on one flat surface. So I'll give you an example. So there's risers here. That's one of the Corey risers. And then This right here is underneath the sequence. The white block is on top of it. It just adds some dimension so that way your table is not just on one surface. It actually has some type of dimension and it has different heights, different levels of height. So keep that in mind. Alrighty, so number 2, you could most definitely tap into email marketing. I always say if big brands are utilizing email marketing, then you should be doing the same thing. So email marketing platforms, I'm not talking about Gmail or your Yahoo. I'm actually talking about email software. So I'm talking MailerLite, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Infusionsoft, Squarespace, Flowdesk. All of those platforms are for email marketing. Do not spam your audience, meaning do not send them emails through your Google or your Yahoo. It needs to be through an actual platform. That is actually against the law to send out big group messages through your Google. It needs to be through one of these email platforms. When you send out emails, make sure it's valuable information. You know, you always want to provide value to your clientele. It is not, well, you most definitely, if someone gives you their email, you want it to make sense. You want them to be happy about the emails that they receive. So be sure not to send any junk mail or just spam, constantly trying to sell. All your emails should not be about selling. Your emails could be about new blog posts, brand updates. So do not overly spam your audience, and then make sure you diversify your emails and it should not always be selling. So just some statistics on email marketing. For every dollar spent, there is a return of investment of $42. So keep that in mind. And then it says 99% of people check their emails on a daily basis. So that means you have the potential to get in your audience each and every day because people are checking their emails pretty much on a daily basis. 58% of people will check their email before checking social media. So that is good to know as well. So you definitely want to be in that inbox. And then another big stat is email automation will generate 320% more revenue. So make sure you get those emails automated so that way you can increase your revenue. That's always a winner when you can make more money. So here are some emails to send just in case you were like Mina. What emails do I possibly send to my clients? So, of course, new blog posts or new video blog. Send out customer testimonials. Make sure you update your clients on brand updates and changes that are coming. If you're going to be at a certain event or if you're hosting an event, make sure you let them know that. Of course, sharing exclusive content to make them feel special is always good. And then you can also share articles or, shout out another brand through emails as well. All these things are valuable and is adding valuable content to your emails. So your clientele will appreciate you for not overly selling them. Alrighty, attend events. Again, with the pandemic going on, there's not many events going on. However, if there are events going on or even online events, be sure to show up and network and participate because you never know who is in that chat room or who's actually at the event space. So be sure to get your face out here so that way you can network and mingle with other people who are similar to you, meaning bossy and entrepreneurial, want to improve their lives. So keep that in mind. So before you attend an event or before you invest in an event, be sure to do your research first. Like I said, you want to make sure you're going somewhere where people actually have, you want to actually attend an event where your audience is going to be. Don't just show up without your research. Be sure to make sure that your audience is going to be there, or if there is someone you are looking to connect with. So do your research. And then you most definitely want to connect with other people. So if you need to break the ice or if you're nervous, compliment other people. That helps to break the ice. Say, hey, cute necklace. Oh, I love your journal. I love the notebook that you have. That, shows that you are friendly. And, so most of the time, people will open up to that to start conversation compared to, some people might be snotty, but that's rare. Most people want to connect and, and most people want to connect and get to know you and connect for, outside of the event. All right. So after that, you want to find something in common with the other person. So there might be common hairstyle or common industry. Try to find something that you all can talk about so that way the conversation is a little bit interesting. And then, of course, exchange social media handles or arrange a meeting to connect outside of the event. The whole goal is to connect with others outside the event. So keep that in mind. Be sure to have your social media handles ready and or your business card available. So when I'm at events, I like to give out flyers. So this is like a 4x6 brand card that I give out, and it just gives them valuable information. So 7 uses for a headshot. And so I just give them this. It also has my email address and my website. I could also put my Instagram on there as well. But this is something that I actually print out because business cards, if you're at an event, business cards usually get lost in the shuffle. So instead of passing out business cards, I pass out information cards with my actual email and website on it. So you could do something very, very similar to this. All right, number 4 is TV segments. I've been on the news before. I thought it was pretty cool to get in front of a new audience. So you could do the exact same thing. To get on the news, all you need to do is contact your local news station. Usually you can find that online, and you just submit the questionnaire. And if you have an interesting topic, they will contact you back and let you know if you have been approved or not. So if you're going to be on the news, make sure you are ready to do some type of demonstration, or you're looking to do an interview, or you're promoting an event. You need to have a purpose. So be sure that whatever your purpose is, that you are ready to go. When I contacted the news station, they got me in within a week. So that was pretty cool. But I was also prepared. So just make sure that you are prepared for when you do reach out. Make sure you tie up loose ends, meaning you want to make sure your website looks good. You want to make sure all the links are working. You want to make sure you have the appropriate social media handle prepared. You want to make sure everything is right, because you never know if some clients decide to contact you via website or social media. You want to make a first impression the really, really good impression, because you just never know. So make sure all of those things are in place before you get on the news. And just FYI, they did ask for my website and they asked for my social media handle. So be sure to have those things ready before you actually submit the application to be on the news. And then again, be prepared, practice, and be prompt. I showed up about 30 minutes before I went on the air just to make sure I had the right address and that I was in the right space, and to kind of relax and get ready for my segment. So hopefully those help. But yes, contact your local news station so you can also get on the news. So this was me maybe about 2-3 years ago. I went on the news. I did a demonstration of flat lays to promote my Brand Like a Boss event. Super, super cool event. It was fun. I actually got people from who saw me on the news contacting me for jobs. So just FYI, it does help. Alrighty, so another type of marketing strategy is sponsoring some type of event. So when you're sponsoring something, it is an individual or organization that pays some or for all of the costs involved in an event in return for advertising. So you might sponsor an event and you might be the food vendor, or you might sponsor the giveaways, or you might sponsor the goodie bags, you might sponsor the photography. I've done that before. But you're going to sponsor an event in exchange for advertising. So they are going to advertise your business at the event, and usually before and after the event and during the event. So it helps to gain exposure. But you want to make sure, again, that the event that you're sponsoring, you want to make sure that your target audience is going to be there, or else it's going to be a waste of time and waste of money for you. So keep that in mind. Be sure that the event that you're sponsoring is going to put you in front of your audience. So keep in mind is, how will the sponsorship benefit your business? Are you going to be able to mix and mingle with other people who you want to mix and mingle with? Research the audience, so demographics, the age, ethnicity, household income. This plays into your target audience. So your target audience needs to be at this event. All right. Research the event itself. Who is the host? Does the event look legit? Have they had events in the past? You want to make sure that the event is actually worth your while. You don't want to sponsor something and the event host is not even trying to make it an amazing event or experience. So people will do that. They will use events just to make money without even considering the people who are sponsoring the event or people who are actually attending the event. They just want to make money. So people who have done that, I've seen that. So be sure to do your research first. And then you want to make sure that how you be advertised. Will you be on a step and repeat banner? Will they make a social media post about you? Will you get access to all of the email marketing? Will you have a flyer inside of a goodie bag? You have to decide which marketing strategy is important for you and if you want to be advertised in that way. Sometimes there's different levels and different tiers to sponsorships. So, of course, the more money you give, the more, more advertisement you will receive. So just be sure to check to see how you will be advertised and if you think that will benefit your actual business. So remember, the sponsorship has to make sense for your business and your brand and the actual event you're sponsoring. So I've sponsored photography events before. I've sponsored events by giving away photography services, and usually I receive some type of, I usually give out business cards while I'm there, mix and mingle with other people who need my services. Those usually work for me, but I only could do so many. So I told myself I will probably only sponsor maybe 1 or 2 events per year, just because I have my own business to run. So I can't always sponsor things because it involves my time. But I have sponsored things before, and they have come out to my benefit. Alrighty, so be a walking billboard, meaning if you sell products, be sure to wear them out in public to promote your brand. And if you have a service-based business, you still can wear clothing that has your logo and or contact information on it. So there's been times where I sponsored events and I will walk around with my t-shirt. It'll have my logo, and on the back it will have my phone number and my website. So if you don't have a product, just know you still can be a walking billboard by having your logo on your shirt along with your contact information. So this is an example of what I mean by walking billboard. So the middle shot is me wearing my brand, which is the Boss Things brand. And then on the right hand side, it has my personal brand where I offer photography and coaching services. I have my t-shirt on there. So if I was at an event, I would probably have this shirt on there. I would probably wear this shirt with my contact information on the back of my shirt. So that will allow people to contact me and to connect with me without actually having to stop and ask me for my phone number or my website. Some people won't approach you. Some they might be shy or introverted. So you can always have that as an option. Have your website and logo information on the back of your shirt. Alrighty, one of my favorites is direct mail because we normally don't get nice things in the mail. It's always like a bill or something. So think about, if you actually sent your client a thank you card, gift card, referral card, and coupons. They will most definitely appreciate you for that, and they'll be surprised because people don't usually receive things in the mail other than bills. So if you want to market to your clientele, if you have their mailing address, be sure to send them something nice. You just never know how those small things go a long way. So be sure to get creative and send a few things in the mail to, get your clients' attention. Referral cards are also cool. Allow your clients to market for you. Clients love to brag on their vendors. So if you are a great makeup artist, they will brag on you. If you are a great virtual assistant, they will brag on you. So make sure you have some type of incentive for your audience so that way they can market for you. You can use referral cards. You can also use a point system where your clients can also gain rewards for marketing for you. So be mindful of that. And here's an example of one of my referral cards that I used to give out. I would give this out to a client, and they would share it to one of their maybe family friends. And in order for their family and friends to get the discount, they would have to actually bring this card in to receive that referral. So pretty cool. I did have a couple of these come back to me for referrals. I've also done online referrals, and I will actually give the client who sent me the referral an actual free print for their home. So that's just an example, but keep that in mind. Alrighty, getting close to the end. Number 9 is cold calls and cold emails. So I do this for my, I do cold calls and cold emails for my entrepreneur business for teens. I will actually cold call schools and email them to pitch my brand. You can do the exact same thing. So before you do a cold call or cold email, be sure to do the research on the company. Make sure you're contacting the right person. Make sure that this organization actually needs your services. So be sure to do your research first before you just call or email someone. You can use the company website for research. You can also use the LinkedIn profiles to see how you can get in contact with the person you need to speak with in regards to working with that particular company or organization. So some tips to keep in mind is keep the email short and straight to the point. Be sure to ask for a face-to-face meeting or a phone meeting just in case. But a face-to-face meeting will be great if you can. With COVID, it's a little bit of a challenge. So even if it's like a virtual meeting, that's fine as well. Have information and content ready. So if a school is interested in my services, I usually send them my pitch deck, and they'll have all the information as far as like pricing, contact information, website, and testimonials. It'll have all the information on the actual pitch deck. Have a link to your portfolio or website for them to look at. So be sure that your website and social media links are up to date. So that way, if they ask for it, it's already ready. And then, of course, if they do not contact you back, be sure to follow up. People do get busy and they forget. So it is your duty to make sure they don't forget. So keep that in mind. Follow up. I would say give them a couple of days and then send a follow-up email. So here's an example of a cold email. So that great morning. I noticed that you are hosting the event on June 2nd. And I was reaching out to see if you have already hired your photographer, videographer. I am a photographer, videographer in the St. Louis area, and I specialize in events. Take a look at my website link and let me know if you're interested. I look forward to working with you and your team. So pitch email, I've actually booked an event using this email. So this is just a template, and you can just, of course, word yours however you want. But I have actually booked events using this email. So the whole goal is to bring brand awareness to my services, and so you can do the same exact thing. And then the last one is door to door. And right now, this might be a little difficult due to COVID, but just be sure to wear your mask. But you are going to door in these businesses. So if a business has an actual storefront, you can go inside and pitch them your business. Of course, when I go to someone's home, that will be really weird. I would most definitely just stick to those companies that have actual doors and storefronts, and that way you can actually go inside. So think about a YMCA, think about a hair salon, think about a boutique, think about a law office, but just be sure that it's an actual storefront where you can actually walk inside and that they actually accept people to come inside. Again, do your research first. Have a game plan. Think about what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and then if make sure you find out who are the managers and the decision makers. You want to talk to those people, and then of course, I said feel free to visit the store before you pitch. So if let's say you're going to pitch a clothing store, visit the clothing store first to just see what the look and feel is. That's kind of like part of doing your research. So be sure to, do that if you have the option. And then, of course, introduce yourself and let it be known on how you can serve them. So walk in there with confidence. Be sure to have a game plan and always, always, always do your research first. All right, so here are some examples. Hi, I'm Mina. I've been shopping here for the past couple of years. I wanted to know who would I talk to if I wanted to get my products sold at this store. And it says, hi, I'm Sam. I just opened up my juice shop a couple of blocks down. I just wanted to stop by, introduce myself. I also wanted to give you a coupon for your first visit. So if you opened up a juice bar and you want more people to know about your juice bar, you can go door to door to these other businesses. People do take lunch breaks. So let them know that you are available for business and, get them an incentive to come and drink your juice. So that's just some examples. But most definitely have a game plan and just think about what you're going to say when you pitch these organizations. Alrighty, so here are just some bonus tips. If you wanted to create your own custom cards for events, you can use Canva, Move, or Vistaprint. And you can also buy cards if you wanted to mail something off to. You can mail them from Target. You can buy them from Target, Hobby Lobby, even Michael's. But these are some things you can create and do if you wanted to mail things off to clients. Some other bonus content is, the vendor checklist you can find on the dashboard. That's going to help you get ready for vendor events. And then creating cards, you can use Canva. And then to print, Vista.com, it must be Vistaprint.com, Move.com, and then of course other things such as Grammarly. So if you wanted to actually create a pitch deck or send out cold emails, use Grammarly to make sure that you are grammatically correct. And then Fiverr also has other freelance services, so for a very low price. So those are just some things that I love and that I've used that can most definitely help you as well. And that is the end of the module. I hope you learned something. Be sure that you implement these things. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. But I look forward to seeing your growth and how you incorporate these 10 different marketing strategies.